remember my farts. Yeah, my farts at the office, my involuntary farts at the office. Yeah, don't tell anyone. Those involuntary farts, that episode repeated itself 3 times. 3 times. Good Lord. The process of body consciousness has been so long and so arduous and so much money. I've spent easily over 10 grand, more than 10 years exploring, learning. And I keep going because obviously the body that I had back in the mid 2000s is not the body that I have now. Although the body that I have now, I must say, is a nice improvement. Yeah, it actually is. Clearly it is. I've been working on it so long. But all that to say, self-care and body consciousness sounds like an easy thing to do, but it's clearly not easy. And often, really, let's think about this for a second. Let's think together. What is health for you? What is health for you? Is it simply not having a cold? Is it only needing 1 cup of coffee instead of 3? What is actually health for you? I think most of us are completely wrong about health. I mean, completely wrong, because we simply measure our health if we know my back doesn't hurt and I don't have a cold. But we haven't actually figured out what thriving looks for our body. I mean, thriving. To know to know what your body feels like when you eat properly, to know what your body feels like when you don't, to know what type of exercise sits well with your body, to know what type of thoughts sit well with your body, to know what type of people sit well with your body, and to know to what degrees you can handle that. I think most of us don't know because I didn't know. And the work to do that is really long, difficult. I'm sorry. There's no way around it. And it might be expensive. It might be because it's not, if we think about Western medicine, let's be honest. If we think about Western medicine focuses primarily on treating a symptom. Yes, my periods are painful. Okay, let's treat the symptom. Let's give you an ibuprofen or shots. Maybe let's put you on contraceptive to regulate your period. Okay, that's one approach. That's the Western approach, which we all live in and we've been subject to. However, there's another approach called prevention, and there's another approach called let's find a root cause. Because if your body is saying anything that feels odd or off, it means it's telling you something. My body is always talking. And now, since I know what it's saying, I can interpret what it's saying. But until you learn to interpret what it's saying, it all sounds like Chinese, or you might be ignoring it altogether. And a funny hack, an interesting hack for those of us that struggle to connect with our emotions. I'm a really sensitive person, more than people make me out to be. But it's true that the process for me to connect and identify my emotions has been a process. And the way to make that easier and faster has been through the body. It's now much easier for me to connect with my emotions because I feel them in my body. I know what I'm feeling when I'm with someone new for the first time and I don't like their vibe. Like I can tell you exactly where in my body that's going to come across. Or if I'm really exhilarated by something, or I'm really at peace with someone, how that feels in your body. So if you struggle with connecting with your heart, connecting with your emotional center of how do I actually feel about that? If you connect, the more consciousness you have around your body, the easier that will be. So in order to think about body, to think about health, let's break this down into 3 categories: values and beliefs that we might have, finding your regimen, and then self-sabotage. I'll explain self-sabotage. So values and beliefs, as we start, see, my stomach just growled. If you didn't hear it, it's growling. I'm hungry. That's a hunger growl. So body consciousness, and it's really important to think about what are your values around it in the sense of, for example, what do I think about health? What do I think about health? Health is something that some people have or some people don't have. Health is totally subject of my genetics. Health is dependent on blah, blah, blah. So what are your values? What are your beliefs around health? What are your beliefs around aging? What are your beliefs around genetics? What are your beliefs around your family history? What are your beliefs around what your body can do? all of those things, all of those things are at the end of the day mental programming. So if you don't like what you have there, you'll need to change it. But all that you have there will completely and directly affect the functioning of your body. Think of your body. Your body, you might be happier or less happy with it, but your body, whether you're happy with it or not, your body is the equivalent of these high luxury vehicles. You can choose from the Italians, from the British, whatever you prefer. But I am more of a Bentley, Rolls-Royce kind of girl. Depending on the day, I might choose a Maserati, but doesn't matter. Whatever you like as your top vehicle, or what looks pretty to you, or has the highest performance for you, or if you don't like cars at all, what you has the newest one that you've seen. Your body is a high performance vehicle. High performance. If we were to break down any one of the processes of our bodies, we are flabbergasted when we actually start studying and pulling it apart, because it's amazing all that it does without our intervention, just on its own. It's an amazing machine. Getting to know this machine will allow you to bring out its full potential. It's like getting a performance vehicle and not actually knowing where all the bells and whistles do and how to make it go faster or how to make the turns smoother. There are lots of bells and whistles, and you need to know the combination of factors to make that happen. But if you think that your vehicle is actually more of a, a tuk-tuk, then if you think that about your vehicle, your body, then it's going to be really hard to convert that tuk-tuk into a Rolls Royce. The mental work primarily, and then the habits around that. So values and beliefs, what do you have? What's in there regarding your body, regarding your self-care? And then finding your regimen. This is by far, to me, the hardest part. Values and beliefs, you can possibly easily sketch that out of what you have hidden there. But finding the regimen that actually works best for you, we can go back to the pretzel wheel and see you can work through those different areas to explore different combinations. You can explore different I don't want to call them diets in the sense of diets is something in North America, at least, it's something that you do for a short amount of time to reach a concrete goal. Diet, in its proper definition, is a way of eating. A way of eating, which means it's how I habitually eat all of the time. So once you figure out what is the diet that is best for your body, then you can modify it. Well, when I'm on holiday, I do this thing. When I'm not on holiday, I mostly eat this way. When I'm in peaks of stress, I tweak it this way. When I'm so on and so forth. And the same with exercise, the same with your water intake, the same in terms of a really important thing to take into account here is stress management. The stress management that we have today needs to be conscientious. We don't live in normal times. We're managing stress as if we were constantly chased by rhinos, and that's not the case. And it's not normal for our bodies. It's not normal for any of our systems. Everything that we do in terms of stress, of eating, of diet, affects our hormones, affects our sleep. It's a whole process to get to know what your regimen is. So identifying also stress factors. Maybe you do really well with long-term stress if you know that it's coming and you just plan for it, but maybe peaks of stress might be really difficult for you, whatever it is. But it's a process of introspection with yourself, and it's a process of analyzing things that you've done in the past. A suggestion here is detoxes. Detoxes I know are very popular. People love to detox and so forth. But I want to be more practical with detoxes. Maybe since we most people eat sugar, caffeine, refined foods, processed foods, and so forth. If this is the first approach you're having, or the first instance that you're thinking about, how do I care for my machine? Perhaps consider a sugar detox. You're going to go off of everything that has sugar, processed sugar for a week, perhaps, or perhaps alcohol, or perhaps caffeine, or processed foods, or so forth, just to make it easy on you as you work through these things. So finding your regimen. And lastly, self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is an interesting concept because we set out these goals for ourselves, right? I want to weigh 55 kilos. I want to weigh 55 kilos, which I don't know how much that is in pounds anymore, but 55 kilos. I want to weigh 55 kilos. But in the process to get to my weight, let's say that I do everything that I'm laying out here. I find a regimen that works really well for me. And in my regimen, I go to the gym and so forth, but I didn't do the proper analysis of my triggers. And then I get this really terrible email from a boss or a colleague, and all of a sudden I am binging on Twinkies. I don't like Twinkies, but let's say I'm binging on dates. I love dates. That's something that I could possibly binge on. But let's say I binge on dates. So if I binge on dates, the 55 kilos are going to be further away than they would be if I had not binged on dates. And I might do that one week, or I might do that progressively. So the 55 kilos just becomes this infinite goal out into the future that I never reach because I'm conscientiously, or maybe not, just habitually cutting my legs, cutting my attempts at getting there. And we do this all the time. Clearly, we do it with body management, with self-management. And the key here is we need to identify what are the values and beliefs that actually are the undercurrent. There's a limiting belief there that I need to find in order to get to my goal. Or there could just be a bad practice in terms of I'm trying to do something. Maybe imagine the road is a line marker from 1 to 10, and I can get up to 7 on my own. I do up to 7 on my own really, really well. But to get to 8, 9, and 10, to get to those last 3 markers, I actually need an extra support. So whatever it is, it's still part of your process of, okay, what is it? Is it the stress that peaked me last time, or is it the fact that I actually don't know how to get past 7 on my own? Whatever it is, it means you might need different interventions. I don't have the answers for you. It's a process that you have to do for yourself. So as we're thinking about the body, as we're thinking about detox, what can you detox from in the coming week or for the weekend? See you tomorrow.